And all right, look at that. We already know what our next set is going to be. And it's gonna be a banger. It's gonna be an absolute banger. Look at that. We got CsO versus CoRe. CoRe W himself right now trying to qualify, and it's gonna be on Coastal Cliffs for the first game. It's gonna be IUBits versus the Delhi. That's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, again, kind of some of the similar Civ choices that we've seen on Coastal Cliffs quite often. I want to say a Ubids or Delhi I've seen in every single Coastal Cliffs game so far. Not both, but one or the other, as we did see that exciting Ubids versus ABBA games from GUA and Soldier just a few minutes ago. And now CoRe versus CsO, a Ubids versus Delhi. And this is really where I feel like a Ubits kind of gets to dictate the pace in a sense and really force Delhi to react to the way that they're building.
I'm thinking about this matchup, and I talked about it earlier as well. How I think IUBits are just really, really built differently. We saw it in our first set, versus Valdemar versus Cisco, where we had the same matchup. I think at a certain point in time, it looked really, really good for Delhi there. Um, it's gonna be difficult though. I feel like IUBits on paper are still really good in this matchup. Question is gonna be if CoRe can pull it off with the Delhi. I mean, CoRe says it all the time, Delhi OP, but CoRe also says IUBits OP. So the question is gonna be who more OP.
There you go. It doesn't matter about who's behind the civilizations. It's just all about the civilizations, right? But you know, both of their civilizations do have their strengths. I just still feel like in the right hands, a Ubids is just scary. The Desert Raiders, when they're not being thrown away and someone actually knows how to micro, can really prove to just be a hard unit to deal with. But enough of that. We see the countdown timer hit 0. We're seeing the overlay swap on over. Let's jump on in. Game number 1, CsO versus CoRe on Coastal Cliffs.
Exactly, and here we go. Spawning in the color green, we got CsO playing as IUBits. On the other hand side, it's a classic color for CoRe. It's the color orange, playing as the Delhi Sultanate. All right. Here on Coastal Cliffs, both players playing as berry civilizations, respectively. So chances are we're just going to be seeing a lot of sheep gathering early on. Players can go for some really, really long routes, don't need to return to their base immediately at all. And yeah, just looking for sheep in the early game. I think CoRe actually noticed that he saw CsO's scout there, or at least a sheep trailing him. So he's going to make a move towards the other side now. Could potentially, like if CsO decides to go behind the base of CoRe, if CoRe just goes back to his place, he could get CsO into a position where his scout is just going to trail behind CoRe's scout. And that would feel really, really good if you're CoRe. And there we go. Yeah, CsO is going to trail behind CoRe's base. So scout pathing here could be looking good for CoRe.
Yeah, and that is where the berry, or I mean the sheep, they matter a little bit, but not as much for the berry-loving civilizations. And it really will be about once feudal age starts coming into play, we expect the advancement or the military wing for a Ubid starting off, getting the Desert Raiders on out and about, and how will CoRe react to those?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last game, like the archer play immediately didn't work out too well, where Cisco, he just made a couple too many archers. I think CoRe, hopefully he saw that game. I think his first round was a bye, so maybe he saw that game and knows how to react, at least make a couple of spearmen early on as well, and just realize like what CsO's game plan is going to be. We see the House of Wisdom coming up now. It's actually a clutch House of Wisdom. Like, it's going up just the moment when he has enough resource in order to age up.
He's got it. He's got that fine-tuned build. Oh my god.
That is more than fine-tuned. That was on the dot.
He literally, and if you look at his resources now, he literally had 0 stone, 0 gold, 0 wood, and I think he had like food. So it was literally like to a T, just like perfect resource distribution and management.
Yeah, well, it was definitely sad to see. And here we go. Tower victory coming up for CoRe on the Delhi Sultanate. So we will see that infantry bonus coming out with the attack speed. And so far, yeah, that's a good amount of sheep right there. 11 sheep found so far by CoRe. On the other hand side, CsO, I think he's also not too far behind on sheep. I think he probably found like 7, 8. Take a look at it. Oh, not quite as good. But then again, he did start off with the sheep, like with his villagers on the sheep. So makes sense that there are less sheep remaining right now.
Yeah, probably about a 1,000 food difference there for CoRe in the long run of the game. But again, this is where if you can secure your berries, secure your backside, deer and berries to the east of CsO's base, then he won't really be too worried about missing out on just a few sheep.
Yeah. Question is if he can secure that. But CsO, he's a fan of large walls. So I could definitely see him even going for a wall even a little bit further and secure all the deer with a single wall there.
We have been seeing quite on this map specifically. It's like Soldier did it twice back to back, where he's just like, all right, long wall, here we go, and it just seems to kind of work out. You have to protect a lot of resources on the map, and you're right, it isn't as expensive as it feels like it used to be.
Yeah, because the map's also like thinner, so walling it the long side like doesn't feel that that expensive anymore, or rather the short side now. Now that we have a short side actually.
Yeah, I guess that is a good point. You're really already taking, a third of the map. So when it feels like you're walling off half of the map, in reality, that's where it would really be a third in general on the other scale.
All right, military wing comes out. Outpost immediately follows. And yeah, it looks like CsO is just going to go for similar style that we saw from Valdemar with the fast castle age.
Yeah, not necessarily an advancement wing, but just we know that Castle Age is kind of what he has planned, whether it's the dervishes, whether it's the growth wing or whatnot. But with him starting onto the sheep earlier, that could mean some incentive to go up with the growth wing, especially if he's split up onto the berry bush that he's on.
CoRe actually opening this one up with a blacksmith. That's an interesting one.
That's
so not a military production building immediately, instead going for the blacksmith. It's going to guarantee him some very, very early tech ups when it comes to the blacksmith upgrades. And he is now going for an archery range as well. Might just be going immediately for the sacred sites into a wall off without wanting to like immediately go for a raid.
And this is one where I still feel like going with the blacksmith first. It's like we know Ubits is wanting to go fast castles. Like, yeah, you're going to get your tech up quicker, but I'd almost rather your military production start earlier. That way you can have a few extra numbers out on the field.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough timing. Stable now also comes in. The one thing that this gives him, though, is having the scholars inside the mosque for longer. Also means that he's going to be getting Sanctity a little bit quicker. So could that he's going to reach the timing where he gets Sanctity out immediately, has like 2 archers on every single sacred site. If he's going out like that, he could immediately capture both sacred sites relatively easily at like 7 minutes into the game.
CsO spots out the stables. He's just watching with the Desert Raider. He didn't see any on the gold. The wood line's well protected, and not really anything he can do with that Desert Raider at this point in time with the way CoRe's base layout is.
Yeah, second Desert Raider now coming out. Looks like there's also a stable for CsO, as he's going to be clicking up any moment now. There we go. Clicks up to Castle Age now. Or is it going to be... Oh, he's not going to go for the cheap advancement wing.
Well, he could have been clicking up to Castle Age, and CoRe currently has like 4 extra units out on the map than him, which isn't too crazy right now. So isn't really feeling any pressure, isn't really feeling like he needs to get out and about. He's scouting this exact thing, sees when they're pulled. No boar pull coming on into play, and the horseman is going to try to chase down that Desert Raider, but he can swap over to that melee form and just take the fight.
It's still tough against the Ghazi Raiders. They have more health, and CsO just needs a little bit more food with the next drop off. A-Job should be coming in, and I think this is going to be... Can we take a look at the berries? Just so we can criticize him if he goes for growth.
He was on all of them, yeah.
Oh, he's already depleted a couple, but it is going to be growth, right? That's growth? It is growth. Okay, okay. Still criticizing him, though, for the berries there. That's a lot of food that he's going to be missing out on. Look at that. Desert Raiders immediately taking the swords out and making their way over to that Scholar. Scholar gets moved, though. Army moves as well. So CoRe should be able to protect that Scholar, and yeah, should eventually also be able to get that capture on the sacred side.
Yeah, should start to get both eventually. Just first had to get the initial one secured, and I love the forward walls coming in by CoRe as well. Just able to use the military units to do so, and connecting the wood line over to this east side of the map if he's able to get it done. But Desert Raiders firing a couple of the arrows. There we go. Melee form coming on in. And as the Horsemen Ghazi Raiders come up, they need to fall back on away.
One Desert Raider goes down though. One Desert Raider for an Archer. Good trade for CoRe. Granted, the Desert Raider though was free. So definitely not a bad trade. 2 more hits on the Desert Raider. They take a lot of damage with every single one of these attacks. Yeah, Grove Wing is going to be coming in, and the Sacred Site still not captured yet, but is about to be.
We got 1 barracks already on the field. I didn't see how many others CSO had prepped. It looks like a second one's going to be on the way, as well as a blacksmith. So immediately going to invest into some ranged armor, I'm sure.
At the same time, CoRe is getting some spearmen out now as well. He should be scouting out. Yeah, he definitely scouted out the barracks there with his scouts, so knows that it's likely going to be golems coming out from CSO. Has a lot of Ghazi Raiders, is getting out some spears out as well, and there we go. That's a CoRe wall.
Let's see if it can get up before the Ghulam's timing comes out and across. CoRe does have double Sacred Sight, so that does give himself that boost in eco. Doesn't really feel that 8 villager deficit now that CSO just had 8 vills pop out of the House of Wisdom.
CSO also has to move out now onto resources. Immediately gets 2 Camel Lances though in queue, as well as 2 Ghulams, so that could be rough. CoRe rushing up those walls now. Archer. Is he gonna get that wall in? Looks like that gate in. Looks like that gate might be getting denied. He's probably gonna have to cancel it. Let's get up with another Archer.
I think he's gonna have to cancel. I don't think he's gonna be able to get it up.
He can wait for it to get a little bit damaged and then just cancel it in order to get the full health wall on it. Oh, I actually don't think you should build it now. It's taking some damage. You can't repair with the military units. You can only build, not repair.
Well, chooses to go ahead and finish it on up. A Ghulam on the right side going ahead and starting the torch over there. So he's just going to push and pull CoRe's army up across a little bit while his Ghulam number will climb on up.
Yeah. CoRe behind this. I mean, he's just massing more and more units out. If CSO takes the fight a little bit prematurely, this could be really bad for him. And CoRe actually investing into a lot of scholars. If he pulls the scholars forward, it could be dangerous. Oh, military force. CSO has to pull his units back from the wall attack that he was doing there. Might actually lose a couple of villagers here. First villager should be going down. 1 villager did go down. And now CoRe immediately in the economy here. Surrounds the Ghulams with the Ghazi Raiders.
Wood villager, he clicked garrison. They started to run towards the outpost on the goal, but they do not need to be running that way. They need to be running behind the TC. Rest of the units of CSO flank back around and get a wraparound, but he just still doesn't have quite the numbers here yet needed to push this on away. But look how tanky those Ghulams are, though.
CoRe finally has gotten the +1 pierce damage upgrade on his archers. Finally, he's able to do 2 damage with every single attack against the Ghulams with his archers. He lost a lot of Ghazi Raiders there, though. Definitely, like, the idle time might be worth it.
I mean, the crazy thing is, though, is like, he was just sitting there attacking that 1 Ghulam, and just with the TC and outpost fire, he loses multiple units, which is more than what a Ghulam costs. So CSO, it might not feel the worst. He still does have a little bit of that villager lead, but wants to eventually deny these sacred sites.
It's definitely still a tough one, fighting under the outpost there. Ghazi Raiders now taking some good fights against the Ghulams. I mean, the Ghulams are going down, and they're not able to do significant damage right now. I feel like they're going faster down than CSO can rebuild them.
The only thing is, I feel like CoRe's mass is thinning out just a little bit too, though. Like, his front line, he doesn't really have as many spears there anymore. And so once the spears get cleaned up, which I feel like CSO has constantly made the outpost fire repositioned to spears, then the Camel Lancer is going to pop out and the Archer is going to be worthless.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to keep this up. Needs more archers out. He's got 21 archers. There's more units still coming out from CoRe. It definitely feels like CSO is still in a pretty decent position. Can't forget, though, that there's also a Sacred Site victory condition behind this. If CoRe pauses production for 1 minute, he can go up to Castle H himself.
See, this is where I'm worried, though. There's no more spears. CoRe's still stepping up. He's taking this fight, and I feel like he's going to lose the rest of this mass, and then he's going to be in that weird position. He has 100 food in the bank. He needs to either continue producing for a bit or go up to castle, but he's kind of in the middle ground.
Yeah, needs to save the archers. Needs to go back with them right now. Needs to fall back at least behind the wall. To try to do some damage there. He killed 5 villagers at least, so he did some eco damage. The question is, though, if it was worth it, because destruction value definitely isn't in favor for him right now.
No. Not by any means. The Camel Lancer, the Desert Raiders pop out of that outpost finally. CsO able to reclaim that forward gold if he wants. And looks like he's going to move out to the right side and go for that Eastern Sacred Site that he was looking for earlier.
Yeah, definitely needs to get a decap in. CoRe, though, investing more and more into Ghazi Raiders, having more in queue right now. Looks like he definitely wants to finish this game off in Feudal Age one way or another.
Yeah, okay, CoRe. Right now, if these Ghulams get over to your side of the map, yes, Ghazi Raiders do have that little bit of bonus damage against heavy. I just don't know if it's enough to actually take good trades when you have when CsO has mass.
That's the question, right? But it seems like CoRe actually manages to force CsO to pull back. And if he gets a rewall in, and it looks like he might get the rewall in. No, the reinforcements come in. The Ghulam's coming in. And the Spearman gets taken down before he can finish off that wall. Ghulams need to focus the wall, though. They're just standing
chilling,
there.
Watching, hanging out. Hello? You gonna do something? There we go.
And now CoRe has enough units to win this fight. Look at that. It's 50 military compared to 20. And CoRe can just rebuild this wall, and he'll be fine. He might actually buy enough time for a Sacred Site victory.
He still has 4 minutes going. He is all out for this Sacred Site victory. Ghulam stepping on up. They're taking the fight. CsO seems like he thinks he has enough to hold this. He has second ranged armor coming in as well. Wedge rivets on the way. Those archers are going to tickle the Ghulams a little bit less. Couple of the Camel Lancers on the front side, and somehow CsO's numbers are not dropping as fast as I thought they would be, just showing you the tankiness even without wedged rivets.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big issue with the Camels still being there because of the debuff on the Ghazi Raiders. They're not doing as much damage as they need to do, and CoRe needs to run back behind the wall.
Falling back behind the wall, he does. He 46 to 18 on the military. He's still still just down those few villagers, even with picking off 5. But 3 minutes and 12 seconds. This is all CoRe cares about. Keep the stall going. Keep CsO behind those walls.
He's actually getting close to aging up again. He just had like 1,000 food. There we go. No, it's all out. It's all out in the Feudal Age still. Once again, reinvestments coming in. Manjanique now gets built though by CsO. That could become dangerous. But then again, Manjanique versus mass Ghazi Raiders, it's going to be tough to protect that one.
Yeah, it's not like he has spears to brace from Ghazi Raiders and really just get that surround. He doesn't have 50 units to just full circle that Manjanique either. But it's still always easier said than done.
Oh, it actually wasn't a +2 Pierce armor upgrade. It was a +2 melee armor upgrade on these Ghulams. They now have +2 melee armor.
Oh! Okay.
That's interesting. Now, the gate that was previously already weakened is going to get taken down. Manjanique also gets spotted out. Is CoRe going to have enough? Because now there are more Ghulams out than Ghazi Raiders. It's going to be a surround from both sides.
Just one Manjanique shot could be enough to turn the tides of this fight, but good old circle around from the Ghazi Raiders. One Manjanique shot hits a lot of the spears, which...
It's not going down. The Manjanique isn't going down. Why is it not going down? It's not going down. Body block.
The body block. It's still like 1 out. There it goes. It finally goes down. CsO 25 units compared to 58 from CoRe, but the double dervishes might be able to activate the AoE healing.
There's not enough frontline. I don't think there's enough frontline for CoRe. It's going down so rapidly. The Ghazi Raiders aren't doing enough, and the Ghulams so much damage. There's a minute left, but I feel like CoRe's army isn't going to be able to survive for another minute.
It's just archers. There's only a few Ghazi Raiders left. No spears, and there's double-digit Ghulam. 21 Ghulams still running forward. The army numbers are about to be even, which is not good for CoRe, as he is the age behind. He is a quality behind.
And the decap is coming in. Camel
And
Raider.
At
Camel
the very
Lancer
least,
as well
this
as the
pauses
Golem.
the timer, so this is just giving CSO room to breathe here.
Oh, it was so close. It was so close. Maybe if CoRe just spammed up a couple more walls there at the end, he has the wood for it. But he knows without the Sacred Side victory, GG is just out of reach, and it gets cold. That was close, though.
I liked the idea. I liked the game plan from CoRe. He saw the spot. He got the walls up, and it just is where CSO barely had the timing play to be able to take that fight right before the Sacred Site victory would have come to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, that was a close one, though. That was really close. Up down to 1 minute. I feel with 700 wood in the bank, imagine if CoRe just like went for the imagining snipe really early and then went for like triple layer walls and just wall after wall after wall. I think he could have had it there at that point in time, but it's so tough to say. It's such a tough decision to make. Nonetheless, it was a really close game, but those golems, man, they definitely carried CSO there.
Oh yeah, I mean it just shows you when you're Castle Age, when you get those extra upgrades, it doesn't matter if you have if you're getting your numbers doubled as far as the military goes, because it's going to take you a lot more than that to take out just one Gulam. But game number 2 in front of us, Frisian Marchers, the OG original custom map that was added to the tournament pool that I feel like really expanded the map play and really anonymous 20 gifted coming in. Much appreciated for the support. Obviously, it does end up going a long way, so it can't say enough about it. We don't know who you are out there, but thank you.
Yeah, on that note, we still have a minute left to go, so let's really talk about that. Every single sub that you're leaving here, every single bit or every single cheer does go the long way, as Dabson said. It helps us with the production, helps our EGC TV bring you guys more of these tournaments in the future, and yeah, it's definitely very much appreciated. So you too can show your support either with a Prime sub or normal sub, cheer donations, everything is very welcome. Also, check out the Patreon, check out the Kickstarter that we've just launched for the next season of Age of Empires 4 Esports.
Yep. Exactly. But just a few more seconds here. We're going to start to hear the sheep come on and everything be gathered. And we know this map, there are a lot of sheep on this map for sure. So we're going to be following to see if there's any sort of absurd difference in that regards.
Yeah, starting off, we got CsO in the color pink playing as the Mongols. On the other hand side, we got CoRe once again in the color orange playing as the Chinese. And you know, typical opening here for the Chinese, getting that mill up immediately with the supervision. The Chinese scouts, they do have some extra line of sight in the Tang Dynasty, so could be that this is going to be a deciding factor when it comes to finding those sheep. But CsO overall did a good job with finding the sheep, sending them back to his base. It's going to be interesting to see in the long run who is going to find more sheep. And look at that, CoRe immediately still on wood, so might be that he will go for a Dark Age barracks. Definitely makes sense if your opponent, as the Mongols, also goes for a Dark Age barracks. China is probably one of the only civilization, or at least one of the best civilizations, that can go toe-to-toe with the Mongols when it comes to Dark Age mass spearmen. Because with the Chinese, not only do you boost up your economy plus 20% with your Imperial Official, you can also boost up your production building by plus, I think it was 250%. So you're getting a lot of spearmen out very, very quickly, with which you're going to be able to contest that early spearman push from the Mongols. Potentially even push it back further.
Yeah, you're just able to react so quickly, but looks like he still needs that next drop off to be able to react with the barracks. He's still staying on. Oh, still one more drop off to be able to react with the barracks, but still staying on there because you'll need a little bit extra wood if you want to produce some spears as well.
Yeah, CoRe finding some more sheep here. It's difficult to tell at this point in time who found more sheep, so we're going to have to leave it to Observer Vodka to make sure who has more overall, even in the base. So CoRe right now, 3 carcasses, 19 sheep alive. And CsO.
16.
Ooh. So CoRe looking good.
Yeah, it was 22-16. I feel like usually on this map, you want to get 20 is kind of the point where you feel okay. I think that's kind of like the even point for the most part. I'm not sure exactly how many total sheep there are. Probably like the 45 number or so.
Yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, it makes sense, right? Like CoRe had a Smurf account called the Shepherd. Definitely shows here.
But spears are moving out and about. CoRe has his own spears producing to defend that location on up. And even if the gold gets denied, Chinese has other ways to get gold over the course of time with taxes. But I don't think you want to rely on just tax gold.
Tell that to some countries, but yeah, I mean, tax gold is definitely gonna help CoRe here a lot. I mean, in theory, as a Chinese, you can just mass up like more and more spearmen throughout the entire game, throughout the entire Dark Age, and be able to get enough gold to age up just through taxes alone.
Yep. You'll have the mill and you will have the barracks to grab from. So makes perfect sense. Those 6 spears are moving across the map. It's CoRe. He's got perfect vision of that. Got that Tang Dynasty scout. Knows exactly what's coming. He was actually moving across with his spears because he hadn't seen any of CsO's come out yet.
CsO, he's almost gathered enough gold right now for an age up. And CsO, I gotta mention, like, he's really, really good with Mongols. Like, CsO's main civilization for a long part of his Age of Empires for, like, gaming career, I would say, has been with the Mongols. At least, I remember back in, like, the first team tournament that we had where I saw CsO playing together with Louis. One of his main strategies was always surrounding, like, the Mongols. Like, he played a lot, like, Mongols literally every single game there that he could. It's definitely by far one of his best civilizations. It shows right now because not only does he have the same amount of spearmen out as CoRe does, but he's about to age up. And that's some kind of crazy timing, right?
Yeah, well, that's one thing you can't forget, that CoRe has to spend full value for all these spears, whereas CsO has actually only produced probably 4, maybe 5 or 6, depending on how much stone he used for double production. And that's where CoRe is using the full food for that. So if you think about, 5 spears costing 60, that's 300 food in the bank that CoRe could potentially have.
Yeah. CoRe behind this, though, he's not too far away from Feudal Age himself, does have the taxation gold coming in, so very likely will be able to click up soon. 8 villagers on that silver tree, so CsO right now, he's very much set on getting that hardened upgrade on his spearman as soon as possible. Another double production. Yeah, I think this was all double production so far from CsO. Just really minimizing his investment into these spearmen while still having a really, really good army mass out.
And just like you said, he will be able to have a very, very clean timing with the upgrade on those spearmen if he wants to take the fight. Imperial Academy is on the way, though, and we know how fast those Chinese villagers actually build. That thing is going to be finished in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, so timing isn't going to be too different now between the two. Silver Tree is coming up. And now CsO might just immediately start to go for that trade, repositions it, and also archery range gets dropped immediately. Looks like CoRe switched some villagers off the Imperial Academy, now only going up with 3 villagers. But there aren't any villagers from CsO going out for an outpost, so he's not going to be able to like catch any of the units out from CoRe.
Dropping an archery range himself. The Silver Tree has finished, so I'm assuming CsO is going to start getting some trade going, as it is in a nice, fine position on the markets on this map, that is. Neutral markets always like tucked into the corner, which is just lovely when you can get that maximum efficient trade route.
Yeah, exactly. Now with the age up, more taxation gold is going to get taken out, and I think CoRe, with the Imperial Academy, can just go into making a lot of these Imperial officials. Imperial officials, at least for the normal Chinese civilizations, they've been buffed from the Imperial Academy. They now only cost 70 food, and I think it was like 30, like 35-ish gold. So the cost has been reduced dramatically. It went from like 150 resources down to 105-ish. Oh, the wall! Oh, okay.
And we did not see this at all. We had CoRe sneak out with a few villagers. He knew Silver Tree. He knows Frisian Marshes. This is a map that everyone loves to trade on when they're the Mongols, and CoRe knows that, and so he says, I'm just going to wall that out. The question will be, will CsO just move that trader to the corner market instead?
I think that's going to be CoRe's next spot, right? Like, he's just got to send those villagers over to the other corner and wall there as well.
I'd assume so, but I mean, if you can even get 1, maybe 2 trips in, that is going to be a significant payout. The wall has finished, and trade has been denied.
All right, I see 1 orange dot there. It's going to be a mill, so those villagers are now moving to the back of the forest there. It's just going to be, though, if CsO indeed sends that trader to the other side, that villager on the mill might get spotted. But there we go, wall now gets spotted. And with that, CsOH not getting the payoff that he wanted with that first trader.
Not at all. There's some spears that he has. The spears that he started with look like they might be headed that way to burn down the wall.
Yeah, I mean,
Or at
they
least,
already have
delay
the
stuff.
torching animation on them. Yeah, they're definitely going for that.
Don't you love it when they just immediately bring out your torches? Like,
Ooh, that hurts on this map. He needs to rebuild it. He has a resource for it. He can just rebuild it. He also has enough now to go for Song Dynasty with the Barbican in the front of his base. Since the Spearmen all pulled back, he can definitely do so pretty much unpunished. And there we go, Barbican of the Sun now coming out from CoRe. Okay, this is looking decent so far. Chinese definitely surviving the early game here.
he also. Oh, I like this actually. So
This is gonna get spotted, though. The Spearmen should see this one already, like this wall there on the side. Yeah, they see the wall. And yeah, CsOH is smart. He's sending one guy over there immediately, so he's gonna spot out the villager there. This villager isn't gonna survive, and that outpost might go up, but it's gonna get torched down immediately.
So that's where my follow-up question is, if you know it's going to get torched down, is it worth the Spearman idle time to torch it down, or do you just cut your losses here and cancel?
I think he should just cancel it. Maybe go for another layer of walls just to delay the death from the villager.
Okay, there he goes, and that's exactly what he does. He cancels it. He's trying to build a gate, but that villager will end up going down as CsOH. He's just going to send one Spearman to constantly have both sides covered.
CoRe's trying. I mean, he really is trying there, you know, to make that villager live, but I don't think it's gonna happen in this one.
It does look like some horsemen are potentially circling around from CoRe, maybe going to go over to CsOH's gold, try to get some raiding done. But CsOH is finally about to get his first trade route completed. 3 traders dropping off as well, so a nice little influx there.
Yeah, definitely a lot of resources that are making their way over to now.
Looked about 75 each, if I had to guess.
Oh, CsOH, he's paying attention. He's paying attention.
He's there.
Oh, quick wall attempt. Yeah, he did. A valiant effort. Oh, villagers though might potentially get one. They make it. They make it back. They do have that wheelbarrow on them. But CoRe actually just going fast castle behind this. The timing isn't bad for him either. Like with this many sheep that he has under his TC, 20% bonus income from them means they're lasting a long time here. Granted, a couple of the villagers are actually dropping off on the TC instead of the mill due to some unfortunate sheep placement, but it's not bad. And long term, he still has the food sources out on the map.
Keshik's starting to be produced now that CsOH's getting a little bit more of that gold income. But astronomical clock tower, 7 villagers on it for CoRe. He's going up to Castle Age.
Yeah, question's going to be, what's going to be the follow-up? Is it just going to be Palace Guards? I could see Palace Guard crossbows working immediately as there's already Keshiks out on the map, and Palace Guards are going to be really nice there. We're seeing mostly barracks. It could just be a mass Palace Guard spam. That also works in mass, since he also has a lot of spearmen out as well. It's going to be difficult for CsOH to micro down. Oh my god, the villager is moving from the mill all the way over in order to get the rewall in again.
But look at what CsOH already has up there.
Yeah, he's got the spear.
He's got a spear there, and not only that, he's burning the other. I love how he's burning multiple palisades, so it's not just an easy rewall, and he will hopefully have a little bit of time to react. But I love the idea from CoRe just being able to get that quick rewall, because any delay makes CoRe's Castle Age timing pay off that much better.
Yeah. I love this though. I absolutely love this, and yeah, potentially going for the reroll. Question is CoRe gonna pay attention to that spearman being there? The villager is moving across. Oh, the spearman was on attack. Oh my gosh,
he was so fast. That was just unbelievably fast.
That wasn't the reaction. The spearman was on attack move there the entire time.
I was about to say that was just unreal. Immediately moved out, and it was funny. Right as the spear moved out, the wall burnt down anyways, so was not able.
He dodged him in the stealth forest, but he's got a.
CsOH. Oh, he's gonna get it. No, he's not.
He reacted.
Trader's gonna block it off. Oh, what? He didn't.
Oh.
Oh
That was so
no!
close. That was so close.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what? What?
They
What?
pathing. They think they can walk through, but once they step up, the berries are too close to the wall and they're stuck.
Oh.
Oh my
Oh my what?
god! I'd be so tilted.
Dude, that is amazing.
It was CoRe's playing the whole time. He's seen this before. He saw the berries there. He's just that big. CSO realized
And look at that, CsOH. He just needs to. There we go. He realized it. He literally was waiting for that golden ore to age up.
Oh my gosh. Curl Tie is on the way. 12 villagers on it, and CoRe currently has 20 spears. He's doing the I'm gonna protect my siege build.
Yeah, a couple of palace guards, also some knights now coming out, probably just for harass now on the trade. Oh man, I still can't believe it that those traders just getting stopped there that way.
One of the things though we haven't really talked about though that CSO has been able to do is we just saw the outpost go up next to the neutral market, but I believe it looks like he's got some other pink outposts along the path throughout the whole trade route, and that's just giving him just a ton of extra boost and a ton of extra vision as well.
Yeah, a ton of vision, and all the traders are going to have more movement speed. And that's making a big difference, like getting 10%, like not only as the Mongols are you getting 30% more income from your traders, but now they're also moving 15% faster. So you're getting a lot of additional resource out of that one. And now also Yam Aura coming in, so the villagers nearby are also going to be much harder to raid as they're going to be moving really quickly. All the upgrades now coming in for CsOH. He just dropped a lot of production buildings as soon as the age up hit as well. Can we take a look at what production buildings those were? Oh, just barracks. All barracks out right now.
Men-at-Arms mass, which all he saw was a ton of spears. So Men-at-Arms is like the perfect thing to go into that. Obviously, we know that there's some Nest of Bees as well, but those still will just kind of tickle those Men-at-Arms.
Yeah. Some raids coming in, some knights, some horsemen. Might find some kills there on the traders. At the same time, now CoRe makes his way over. Outpost with the Springle emplacement is going to get torched down really quickly. Goodbye, Outpost.
Yep, so much for that Springle emplacement. CSO can't take this fight until some more of the upgrades are in, or doesn't want to, as we just saw the veteran archers come through, it looked like. Waiting for Steeled Arrow, second range damage.
The building is so fast. The building just outran the units chasing it.
Upgrades OP.
Yeah. CoRe can't chase down the buildings. Oh, needs to make sure his Nest of Bees are protected though. Springles are coming out from CsOH. You need 4 Springle shots though in order to take down a single Nest of Bee.
CoRe is moving out heavily onto the shoreline fish, and I think CsOH still has some spears in that location. Oh, he's
yeah,
right
he
on
does
the deer.
on the deer.
But that is still a significant amount that can end up going in, and he's of course diving the Springle with all the spears, but that's still going to be a lot of spears going down. He left the Nest of Bees out to dry. Are there reinforcing spears going to be enough to stop the Keshik?
They're enough. These Nest of Bees, they're so tanky. They're so tanky, and it's working. Now 3 Nest of Bees. Is it going to be enough? I mean, the spread formation is going to do a good job
so many
here.
spears, though, during that dive, and now we got 10, 15 Men-at-Arms to follow this up. They're just trying to close the gap. They're just trying to get over to where those Nest of Bees are that no longer have a great front line of protection.
This is definitely a rough fight. I mean, the Nest of Bees, they're tanky, right? But they can only tank so much up. Archers, they're doing a great job of just getting spread out. It looks like
Men-at-Arms
CoRe
fighting
should
under
find
the
a way to
Curl
retreat.
Tie. Springled helping out again as well. And what?
Wait, GG gets called?
Did we miss something?
Maybe? Can we take a look at the food income from CoRe at the villagers? Did villagers get raided?
I don't know. Oh, it was, yeah. Well, I guess CoRe realized that this was not his game. This was not his series. And he did not have anything to deal with the mass Men-at-Arms. He was about to have all the Nest of Bees cleared on up and about to have the eco, because he was all on the shoreline fish and he didn't really have anything to stop.
I think maybe the spears hit him there on the shoreline fish.